So today we're going to be looking at the best players under 1.5 million. Now the budget for this is between around about 800 to 1.5 to really get the feel of some very top end sort of players. Now I do a lot of these on the cheaper ones, so if you want to check out the playlist or anything like that, I normally go between 200, 300, 400 and really kind of try and go up the whole scale to really give you the best players, because we get a lot of comments on who's the best CDM you can get for 600 or a striker for 750. I try and cover them in all of these. So goalkeepers are very easy because once you get up to about 350, you've pretty much hit your max. So really I kind of just put these in if I go above say 400-500 because they are the best keepers that you can get. I feel like any one from this option would be perfect. Let me know down below if there's anybody that's missing. Some people might like Schmeichel, but I think this covers everybody. So I don't spend too much time because every video when it comes to these are pretty much the same. Van der Sar has always been my favourite. Are you looking for coins to improve your team? Then you need to head over to lootbar.gg, the most reliable and the best coin service you can find. Also, they have incredible 24-hour manual customer service that you physically cannot find anywhere else. But before finishing on lootbar.gg, make sure you are using JT11 to get 8% off coupon. Once you've gone through the payment, you'll be able to get your coins within the next 24 hours, absolutely guaranteed. Also, with the code, you'll be able to get 5% more coins on every transaction. Make sure you do click the link either in the description or down in the comment section below. But now when it comes to the other positions, this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. So in terms of fullbacks, you pretty much can get everybody bar from the two that I think are the absolute number ones. Now, you can't get 97 Frimpong and you can't get 97 Theo Hernandez, whereas you can get their team of the years now that are coming in just a little bit cheaper purely on progression based, which I still think are phenomenal, like especially with the right back side of stuff. If you haven't got yourself a normal Carfu, you haven't got an Alberto yet, you could have chose Alberto if you were struggling with a right back, but an 85 times 20 was definitely hard not to turn away from, especially in team of the season. But I do think when you look at the left hand side, they've got the better options here. Sakina is unbelievable at 900. Teo's still fantastic at 1.2. Grimaldo was not necessarily even a big surprise, but I didn't expect them. After knowing that Frimpong was 97 before seeing Grimaldo, because he was the first one that obviously popped up, knowing that Theo was going to be up there as well with obviously Frimpong's rating, Grimaldo at 95 was fantastic. But let alone that, in the same team of the season, getting a 94 Davies as well. Now, there is different options that you prefer depending on a left back and right back. I feel like a big playstyle plus has always got to be whipped pass. That is all dependent on if you like overlaps. If you do, they're going to be perfect for the whipped pass. Having then a sprinting one for or sprinting playstyle plus is going to be another one. You see it with a lot of them. You've got rapid, quick step, rapid, quick step. Whipped pass on a couple of them, and Sakina and obviously Davies, whereas you've got anticipate and pinged pass compared to your block and whipped pass as such, and then you've got pretty much the same on Sakina as well. So I think for me, any of them could go in and be absolutely fine. You don't necessarily need this sort of budget. I would say it gets a lot more interesting as we get into the midfield, wing, and obviously strikers. Right back wise, to be honest, Frimpong has definitely been my favourite so far. Carfu is always going to be a brilliant icon, the same as Alberto. You still will get the absolute god level from them. I would like the upgrade. Unfortunately, they're not going to be part of the Euro design because it's going to be Euro icons rather than actual all of the icons. So any of the kind of American, Asia, well, is there any Asian in fact? I suppose, I know, do we even get any more? No, because Nakata went into a hero. Do we have it? I don't even know. Let me know down below if you know. I can't think off the top of my head. But we're going to kind of go more European. So it'll be Italy. More than likely a lot of Germany, I can imagine. And as we progress through the tournament, whether they bring out 1 team, 2 team, 3 teams, it's going to be like at least a 4-week promo with going through the whole Euros, obviously. So I can imagine they'll bring out team after team. But Frimpong has definitely been my #1 favourite there. Into the centre-backs, again, another cracking options here. You're missing out on kind of like Virgil, and I think that's about it for centre-backs, to be honest. You haven't got many others that will be over 1.5 mil now, purely because that is a price point that is very, very top end. Like, there's only so many players above 1.5. When it comes to centre-backs, though, we are looking, I'm thinking Virgil might be the only one, because Maldini's cheaper, I'm pretty sure. Virgil's 5.3. Hullet, no. Maldini's 2.1, in fact. So I suppose, yeah, you're missing out on Virgil, and Maldini's 94. That's it. You could pick a combination of these two, any of them, and be absolutely fine. Ramos has been an absolute monster from Team of the Season moments. Diaz is still holding on. Definitely you could get better for the million coins that you would spend, but I still think he is an absolute rock at the back. And that's going down to the fact he doesn't have a Team of the Season. You've got Rio Ferdinand as an SBC or an actual player. The actual kind of transfer market is on 1.4, whereas the SBC is at 1.8. So that's just the difference between him. I can't wait for a company. A company's got to be in there. Belgium, so obviously he could be in with a shout as a Euro hero. And I must admit, the design for the hero and icons is absolutely brilliant. So I cannot wait to see the player one as well. We got a brand new addition from Bastoni. Stunning centre back. We loved his showdown card. Came just after Akanji. So if you did complete him, he did get the win and the ability to go into the showdown at the time of release. So you could have made a 91, I think it was. I think he's 90. You can make a 91 of him, but this card is just, it's beautiful. It's a great centre back. And obviously, if you are looking for a slightly cheaper under the million, Bissek has been rising like crazy. I probably see him being stable, to be honest, because I don't think he's going to get into the ultimate. There's a lot of top-end centre-backs that will be over that rating, in my opinion. But, in fact, he can't even be in it. He's a live card. So it is going to be just Team of the Seasons. I believe it's already been leaked to say that the ultimate will be based nothing around live. It will just be the normal Prem, La Liga, Bundesliga. So unfortunately, Bissek won't be involved with that. And as we are looking at a big price budget, I normally try and keep like the top 11, but because pretty much most players at this sort of value are going to be more worth it, I'm kind of going through a lot of them just because they are of a decent value. But as you can imagine, we've got a lot of cams, we've got a lot of centre mids, not as many DMs. Like DM wise, if we're looking through, Rice and Rodri is going to be the first two that I'm going to be talking about. They are pretty much the same player. Like, literally, they're physical, defending, dribbling and passing, all the same. Rodri's obviously got the 5-star weak foot. He's also 2 inches taller, whereas Declan Rice does have a little bit more pace. Rodri has the anticipate, Rice has the intercept, and I think it all depends on how you prefer in-game which one you'd kind of go for personally, but I'd say both of them are identical, so you can go for either or and you'd be absolutely fine. Technically, Ramirez was more DM based than kind of box to box, even though his stats are leaning towards more box to box nowadays. And most definitely, when he does get the upgrade, I can imagine in footies or maybe even shapeshifter if we get that after the Euros, he's going to be a card to be reckoned with and still gives you enough now. We then have DM-wise, Matthias could be there. Again, he's kind of box-to-box orientated, but he could play both. I think he is still very, very good on the pitch. Again, it's another player that doesn't kind of conform to the playstyle pluses because realistically, the power shot is decent. Like, I mean, it's going to be enough, but you're not going to utilize him that much in shooting when you've got an incredible amount of strikers already. But he's got the dead ball as well, so it's not as if you've got a secondary either to fall back on. But in game, he's a brilliant, brilliant card. Same as Hullet. He's got power header and that's it. And yet, he's still one of the most dominated midfielders you can physically get in the game. And 1.4 mil is pretty decent for a 91 Hullet. Whereas then we look at kind of box to boxes. We're looking at the Goretzka, kind of the owner of the Hullet gang. He's had it for many, many years where once he gets to like the top end, the team of the season, the footies, everything's above 90. The only thing we're missing from him now is a 5-star, 5-star, which I think is still absolutely fine. A 4-5 is more than enough at the moment, but the stats on him are brilliant. And again, another card that is just incredible going forward and backwards. Bonmati, another one the same. You could get her or Putellas, I want to say still a little bit more expensive. She was slightly better even if she was one rating less. Technically, she's 1.55 at the moment, so that's why she didn't show up on here. So she would be under the 2 mil budget at this moment in time, but I can imagine both of these ladies will end up in the team of the season ultimate, so we will see them drop down in the near future. We obviously then have Emery, beautiful card. I didn't expect him to get a 95, but from that Future Stars, he's had an absolute glow up with this one. Another very well balanced card as you go through. Other than that, Hullet we've kind of gone with. Sauer kind of coming in a bit cheaper on the SBC kind of way back when we're looking in the transfer market. I don't think, is she? No, she can't even be done. She shouldn't be here. I was thinking, I put her in thinking everybody in the comments of the centre mid ones, the box to box I did, absolutely loved her. And yet I realised that she can't be even actually got. So poor for me there. I should have realised that she was an SBC. So unfortunately, she's decent enough still. She definitely will get the job done. I would prefer Team of the Seasons personally, but she still will give you a good run for your money. And the rest accounts. You got Pele, Socrates or Socrates. You have Bruno, Musiala, De Bruyne, Foden, Wirtz. There's a lot of, and even Schneider, in fact. Schneider's just a beautiful card. He was kind of the original fantasy hero dribbler. 5-5 from obviously previous cards. Great dribbling, great passing, great pace, and all round very, very good attacking mid. Then we kind of got the upgrade. Socrates got the upgrade for a 5-5 for an SBC. Fantastic from him. And the Team of the Seasons just flowed, and Pele's just always Pele, let's be real. But then we obviously got the Bruno from the live. We then got a double insertion of a top end cam from Musiala and Wirtz. Foden came in the Prem as well as De Bruyne, and I think all of them have their own aspects, whereas De Bruyne's the passing machine. He kind of has that shooting from long range, whereas when it comes to like Wirtz, Foden and Musiala, yeah, Bruno's probably more KDB as well. They're kind of the ball carriers. They're great at passing, but their dribbling, their pace are absolutely exceptional. So if you are looking for more of a ball carrier in your cam, then your Foden, Wirtz and Musiala would be the better option, same as Schneider. Whereas the passing, the intricate assists are going to come from like your Brunos and your De Bruynes, even a cheeky Busquets every now and then. So I do think there is a good option that you can go with, and I think only Wirtz and Schneider are the only 5-5s in this category, bar from the kind of lower in Socrates and also, I think that's it. We didn't go further down, did we? No, I think they're empty. We then have some stunning wingers. Absolutely brilliant. A lot of left wing. Right wing wise, we're looking at Doku, Saka and Salah. It's just amazing to see how many right wings there really isn't. Normally, in any sort of FIFA, from kind of going from the 09 upwards, there was always an abundance of right wings. Like Messi was obviously the right wing. Ronaldo tended to be the left wing. Then we obviously got a Neymar. Other than that, like left wings, it was kind of very much just left on its own, really. Whereas right wing was always bulging with talent, like crazy. You had your Robins down there. I know you got your Ribery's, but everybody that was of a level, like not necessarily Messi or Ronaldo level, was kind of in that right wing side. Whereas this year, it's heavy on that left wing. It's really hard to find a right wing that is on that top level. Like you've obviously got the Team of the Season Salah, you've got Doku, and then I think if you're thinking outside the box, I don't know who else actually would be even there, to be honest. You've Team of the Icons, sorry, not really there. Messi's gone into kind of centre forward now, even though he can play right wing, he's kind of there. Hansen would be another one, I suppose, for like 4 million coins. Dembele's too expensive by an absolute landslide. Other than that, I've pretty much got everybody else. I suppose the other Dembele, the 94 fantasy, even though it's technically a striker, is 1.56. I suppose Palmer would be under here, but again, I kind of like him as a cam, to be honest. He plays really well there. Di Maria, I think I've got him in the striking role, but could be in that right wing role. Diani coming in a bit cheaper, so you kind of have that fall off from the top. You've got the only ones missing: Hansen, Team of the Season Salah, and was that it? Was that everybody? Hansen, Team of the Season Salah, and I think wasn't there one more? Dembele. So they're the only ones above this category, and they are obviously top in their own right, but I feel like you could still get by with all of these. Whereas left wing, you've got your Ronaldinho still into the SBC, which I think is coming in a bit expensive now. Like I want to say it's over 2 million, but you've obviously got the base version that still is relatively cheaper now, 1.3, which is always nice. Neymar as his obvious ice version. You also have the Fire that is technically a striker, but I think both of them is absolutely fine. I would kind of side towards more the striking version, but obviously this can only play left wing anyway. Vinny, beautiful Team of the Year honourable. His obvious Team of the Year, Team of the Season's like 4-5 million, so he's just way out of budget. Salma, love the card. I thought she had a really good Is it Future Star, I want to say? The 89 Future Star from her. Very nice upgrade. Kind of went under the radar a little bit. She was really cheap to start with. The pace was incredible. She obviously had the 4-4, whereas now she's into that 4-5 business. Diaz was great from the get-go, to be honest. He got a road... I want to say it was a road to the knockout that got to like 90, and the only reason why he wasn't kind of mentioned loads, no playstyle plus, whereas once we got to the fantasy, a lovely 93, then managing to get the quick step technical, the 4-4, maxed out pace, incredible dribbling, just needed a bit more shooting, which you could easily go with a Deadeye, you could go with a finisher if you're looking more attacking with physical. It's got multiple options to really get in behind. Then you've obviously got Ginola. I still think he's up there, but he's definitely not as meta-driven as he has been in previous years. I think last year, it was last year and then the year before when he got the 98 Shapeshifter striker was just crazy. The 5-5 went off for him, and hopefully we do the same with him here. Whether he gets into the Euros hero, he obviously is for France, so he could potentially get in there, but then that does dwindle the chance in the footies if they don't just go for everybody anyway. And obviously Felix has got to be involved. Great card. He's Dybala, Griezmann, Felix. They're the ones that I always look forward to with a team of the season, because normally they are expensive, but they are somewhat obtainable, and I'm always very happy to try them out during footies, even though we're kind of maxing out the team there. It's always nice to see a Felix in there. His stats always good, and he most definitely brings the sauce going forward. Then we have some absolutely outstanding strikers in this category. Victor, one of my favourites when it comes to the off-league team of the seasons in the mixed. Brilliant striker, under $1 million now, which I thought was going to be well worth it. I think I bought him at about 1.6, and I said as soon as he gets to about that 900k value, or under $1 million basically, he is definitely worth having a look at. You've obviously got Di Maria coming in at 830 now, starting to drop even more. Kind of winger, striker, cam. He's kind of like Dybala in that sense, where he could play anywhere in the attack, and he does it really well. He's obviously got the 5-4 now, which is even better, because normally, I want to say he starts out with quite a bad weak foot. I don't know if it's quite as bad as 2, but I know most definitely that was kind of always a factor with him. He's a 5-star, 2-star, so yeah, that really does make sense for him. But then we have the likes of Butra, Eusebio, Henry, and Puskás as the icons. I still think most of them can do the job. If I was to pick out of them, I think Henry's been incredible this year. I think he's still a dangerous striker going forward. Eusebio's always a staple of kind of the top end of icons. He's a 4-5, and he is from a long time ago. Centurions was one of the first promos, and to still be relevant now, he's coming in, I want to say, at 1.3. I can't even remember what his value actually was. I know he was very expensive still, even without the SBC. So you're looking at a whopping 1.47 without the SBC that's obviously expired. So it's still a massive price. Butra is always good with the 5-5. We loved him last year with him and King Kenny both getting it in the same promo. The 5-5 just emulates even better kind of just craziness with him. And I would say Puskás is definitely the lowest out of these, mainly because of the 3-star weak foot. I think at this point in the game, as good as he is going forward, I could pick any of these, and you can see 5-5, 4-5, 5-5, 4-5. They're just going to have that distinct advantage, especially with only first touch as well. You can get away with one play style, maybe even 2, because a lot of the top end have triple. But even Mbappe, he's a perfect example. Even the 92, I use his player of the month still runs wild. It's just body type, stats, and just general ability in game is outstanding. Now, if you've got the player of the month still rather than necessarily the Trailblazer, then absolutely kudos to you. He's my red, so he's obviously staying into the team at some point. He may end up on the bench soon, though, because the players are stacking up. I've not even packed a gold Mbappe yet. Let me know down below. Someone said this on a tweet yesterday. It was like, how many people have not packed the gold Mbappe yet? He is the last gold card I need. I've packed every other one, and I have yet to see one gold Mbappe, untradeable or not. I've got the 92, so it's fine. I've not been looking for him, but that is nuts that I've gone the whole game here without having him once. I can imagine we'll probably, well, to be fair, when we get to Euros, if I don't get him then, Footies more than likely has everybody in there, so Mbappe is going to be a team of the season. So it's going to have to be either I get him as a team of the season or I don't ever get him at all this game. It might be that I never pack every single gold in this game, which is just nuts in itself. When it comes to the females, they are absolutely showing up. James was a fantastic inclusion from the what is the women's league called? Is it just the WS? It is the WSL. An incredible start. 97 rated, same as Haaland. And I was like, okay, she's got to be good. Rapid, finesse, trickster, which I'm not a fan of, but we can still make it work. 5'5", incredible stats. I thought, okay, they are really juicing them up. We got Pop. Beautiful striker, 97, 5'5". Loved her team of the year, the inclusion of the 12th woman of the year, and a very, very good powerhouse striker going forward. We saw Chawinga. I want to say how you pronounce her name. I'm not going to say it too much because I keep getting it wrong every time. But where did she come from? 96 rated, plus team of the season, 5'5". Look at the stats. Incredible striker. And then we knew Smith from the team of the year. Again, I had no qualms about her. I thought she was going to be incredible. Same as Alex Morgan. She was another one that was definitely in there that I thought they're just going to be easy strikers to review because you know full well how good they will be. And there was no kind of guess or second guessing once I got onto the pitch with her. Outstanding. Goals galore, pace brilliant. Everybody in this list, to be fair. In the striking, this is where you want to be. I'd happily take any of these partners. If I was going for an outlandish shout, I think Victor was one of my favourites, and I don't know if that's just because I don't know him as such, whereas I kind of expect with Mbappe, I expect with Henry. Di Maria I normally do expect because it's not as if this is his first team of the year, team of the season. He's had a lot of them. I think he's got to have been in for a long time now. I can remember the very early Real Madrid days as well. So he's definitely got in there. And apparently my footbin has turned German. So I don't know what generation is in German. He has been in since FIFA 10. Benfica days, FIFA 11 was his Real Madrid start. And literally he has had so many team of the seasons. And I can't believe how little time he actually spent at Real Madrid. He had 4 years at Real Madrid. Is that it? I thought it was longer, to be honest, but it's exceptional then. But in terms of this team, I would happily take anybody on this list. Let me know down below if there is another budget you'd like. I try and split them so it's like 0 to 100 all the way up to say 450. 500 give or take. Then I'd go 500 to about 800-900, and then the high budget would be anywhere. I'd go 800 lowest to about $1 mil, 2, 3, 4 mil, depending on what we actually want to see in the game and what prices everybody is. So I try and do one every week on each budget, low, medium, high. So if you want to check out the playlist, like I said, it'll have all of your needs there. If you have any additional comments, leave them down below and I'll try and get to them. And if you want to comment and help somebody, that's always appreciated. Peace.